today to speed dating to talk about the Xtreme telehandlers. At Xtreme, we build over 15 different models of telehandler, a lot of specialty machines, a lot of machines that maybe don't pertain to the masonry industry too much, and we pick 70,000 pounds. We do a lot of different things. So today we're going to talk specifically about the Xtreme high pivot roller boom, which really lends itself to the masonry industry. That's our 8,000, 10,000, 12,000 pound machines. We like to talk about the Xtreme value proposition. You know, we feel that we build the best telehandler on the market, so we need to explain what the value is to the people that are buying them. The first part of our value proposition is safety. Today's day and age, that's got to be the number one goal of everybody out there. Make sure everybody goes home at the end of the day. One of the big problems with telehandlers in general is the visibility around the machine, especially when backing up. Nobody ever drives over somebody or runs into a pickup truck going forward. It's always when they're backing up, and it's usually because they can't see the right rear tire. So we went to great lengths at Xtreme to make sure that the back of the machine is really wide open. This picture kind of points out a little better. You can see this big window back here. And when the boom is down about 18 inches off the ground, you can still see right under the boom all the way around. If you look in the brochure that Phil handed you, inside the front cover, there's a bunch of pictures. It's kind of a 2-panel picture, but the upper right picture, you can actually see, it's a picture taken from behind the machine. You can see the operator's face looking straight back at you. So that was our number one goal at Xtreme, was to design a very safe machine. The owners of the company both have many years of rental company experience and have been, you know, brought into some situations, legal situations, because somebody using one of their machines backed over something or somebody. Another part of our proposition is cost of ownership. Our machines are a little more expensive up front, but it pays off for longevity. We design these machines with a 20 to 30 year life expectancy. We put a lot of different things in there, like roller booms and big heavy chassis and so on, to make sure that these things last for 20 years. And then the last part of it is serviceability. Every machine needs just a little bit of downtime to get the oil changed, filters changed, etc. We went to great lengths to make sure that we could get that done. And, you know, like, give us an hour when your guys are on lunch break. You can get in there, get the oil changed, filters changed, get it backed up, grease it, and be ready to go again. So those three things really make up our value proposition. If you build the best forklift in the world, you got to have the best warranty in the world. So we put a 10-year warranty on our chassis, on the weldment, on our boom and the boom rollers, which really separates us from the rest of the pack. We put a 5-year warranty on there. I dare you to try to find anybody else that will give you a 5-year warranty on their boom and their wear pads. So with our competitors going on slider pads, it's a constant source of maintenance. Whereas we put steel rollers in there. So our boom glides out on rollers that ride on needle bearings that are greasable. So you don't have to worry about that boom pad, wear pad change. And then 2 years bumper to bumper, we cover everything. One thing I point out on the axles, the transmission, on pumps, all that stuff that we're guaranteeing for 2 years, we as manufacturers only get 1 year from our vendors. So we're on the hook for that second year. But we spec out the product to make sure that it's gonna go for the 2 years. This is a spec of our 842 machine. Now the way you read our machines, the first digit or two is the capacity in thousands of pounds, and the last 2 digits are the lift height in feet. So 842 relates 8,000 pounds, 42 feet. One thing I want to point out on this is a Tier 4 final machine, but we're utilizing a 74 horse high torque Cummins engine that requires no DEF, and there's no DPF on it either. So there's no particulate filter to clog up. It basically just runs a catalytic converter. So much easier than dealing with the DEF and the Tier 4 final. Dana transmission, Spicer axles, pretty common throughout our whole line. Go ahead. The next machine, and this is a very popular masonry machine, is our 1045. It's a 10,000 pound 45 foot machine, but there's no outriggers on it. most of the other competitors, all the other competitors, 10,000 pound class machines all have front outriggers. So just, you gotta put those outrigger pads down. It takes 5 seconds to do it, but in the masonry world, it's 5 seconds too long. So, again, running the 74 horse high torque. And then this machine, we step up to a Dana 213 axle. That axle is used all the way up to our machines that have capacities of 20,000. So instead of putting an axle in that just barely meets the criteria, we take one that lift, on a 20,000 pound lift and run it all the way down to our little machines. When we get into our 55-foot class machine, we go up to 12,000 pounds on this particular one. We don't make a machine currently at 10,000 pound 55. Ours is 1255. The neat thing about this machine is it's a 3-section roller boom instead of a 4-section boom. So it's a lot simpler to get hoses and plumbing and wiring through a 3-section boom than it is a 4-section. 4-section booms are very complex. So this one you get into the depth because you're 124 horse or 120 horse. And then we get into our really cool machine, the 70-footer. This one is a lot of masonry people are really looking at this machine that are doing the mid-rise construction in the big cities. But we're the only ones that can take 8,500 pounds to 70 feet. And it'll also pick 3,000 pounds straight out in front of the tires 54 feet. So it's a beast of a machine, but all the features, the visibility, the boom rollers, everything's the same. This is the only 4-section boom machine that we'll build currently. Maybe we'll go to 80 feet next, who knows. Some of the safety features we like to point out at Xtreme, obviously the 360 visibility that I already talked about, so critical. It's almost, it's just unbelievable, that rear window, how much that opens up. Our frame sway handle, we have a 2 joystick set up. The front joystick operates the boom, lift, lower, extend, retract, and fork tilt. And the back handle is the frame sway control, and it's shaped with a Y-shaped yoke that sits on your forearm. So as you got your hand on the boom control, you just roll your wrist back and forth, and you can actually frame sway your so as you're driving across a job site, this hand's on the steering wheel, you're not switching over or taking your hand off the steering wheel to run 2 controls. So you can run all 3 functions of the boom and the sway with one hand, leaving the other hand free to steer. Rear axle stabilization. All of our machines from the 842 and up, we put the rear axle stabilizer on. Basically, when you get to 40 degrees of boom angle, that kicks in, locks the cylinder up and gives you a more stable 4-point stance to lift your load with. We incorporated a number of years back, a boom lifting point on all of our machines. You see it right here on the bottom of the gooseneck there. We actually hang a hook there, a hook or a shackle. The machines we're talking about today, it's a hook. But that's a full capacity lifting point. So this is a 1255. That machine can pick 12,000 pounds of suspended load right there. So what you do is you just look at your load chart on your in your book there. Whatever it says you can do with forks, you can do with that lifting point. So, it's really cool. On our big machines, we give you a place to sling 40,000 pounds if you want. Yeah. And then another one, this is just so simple, and it's just such a neat deal, is the rear wheel alignment light. So these machines traversing these rough job sites, they're switching from 2-wheel, 4-wheel, crabbing back and forth, and eventually, inevitably, they get all out of whack, and they're tracking sideways across the job site. And so what the operators do is they put it in 4-wheel steer, and then they take their head and stick it outside of the safety cage and look backwards, get their back tires going straight. All the while they're going this way and they're looking that way. And then when they get the back tires straight, they hit the switch to 2-wheel steer, and then they'll get it lined up and then put it back in 4-wheel steer, and they're good to go. Where with the Xtreme machine, as you're driving forward and you get the back tires lined up, a green light will come on the dash, so his eyes are going forward, he just glances down and he sees that light on, then he hits the switch and he's in back straight again. So, really big safety feature. Some standard features we put into our machine to increase the longevity of these machines. The big melanite rollers that pins in the boom. So wherever there's a load in an Xtreme boom, there's a roller. The ones you can see easily are the ones on the bottom in the front. But that boom, actually, when you put a load on it, the back end of the boom kicks up. So on the inside of the boom, back here, we put rollers on the top. So wherever there's a load, there's a roller. There's no wear pads there. It's incredible. We've got machines that we've been doing Xtreme since 2003. So 13 years, we've got machines out there that have factory rollers in them, and there's nothing wrong with them. And the maintenance on it is nothing more than a shot of grease. You should grease them every month. Once a month, it'd be more than enough. The owner says once a year. So the large cross-section booms, these guys that designed this machine have owned, countless thousands of other competitors' machines, and if they fall over, they bend the boom, and it's really, so we put large cross-section booms, real heavy duty. It's really tough to hurt one of these booms. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can do it. I know guys that can break an anvil, but in the normal course of a day, you're not going to hurt these booms. We protect our cylinders. You see this picture here, you don't see an extend cylinder hanging out on the bottom, and you don't see a fork tilt cylinder hanging out on the gooseneck. So the boom extend cylinder goes inside for protection and visibility, because if there's a cylinder hanging there, you can't see through it. But the neat thing is the way we've got it set up in there, we can actually get it to come out the back of the boom in about 15 minutes. One guy can have that cylinder out. The fork tilt cylinder we put up on the top to protect it, because we know that they like to smash dumpsters with them, or who knows what they do. But so we protect it. Now the neat thing about it is between the wear pads, the boom extend cylinder and the fork tilt cylinder, it's automatic. It's not a matter of if you're going to have to replace those items, but it's a matter of when. So just figure rough numbers, 3,000, 3,500 for this cylinder, maybe 1,500 for that one, and so what, that $4,000 or $5,000, then maybe $1,000 for that. So $6,000 the first time you do it. That's the first time. It's not the only time. It's just the first time. And then the other problem you have is when your machine's down getting the wear pads done or the cylinder fixed, you got to run a machine. So now you got another, $3,000 a month rental charge. So now the first time that happens, you got $9,000 into it. Or you just buy the Xtreme, you don't have that problem.